That's actually a pretty good take. That's actually a really good take. Oh my God. God damn, he's so right. Anyway, let's start with the New York one from Gattsu.
I can never think any place in the world is expensive now. A lot of New Yorkers are rude, criminals, or on drugs, but usually a combination of all of those. And every building in the financial district is responsible for countries getting cooed because the cokeheads on Wall Street and in Washington wanted their resources.
Did I just catch you on the beach?
But the skyline is so cool though. New York is genuinely a legendary city. It's where like every movie is filmed. Spider-Man is a New Yorker, and you can see him on the subway saving people's lives when you're in New York. And this city is very alive and also very hardworking. Americans in general work a lot, but in New York, when you look at the skyline at night, all the lights are still on because everyone is trying to pay their median rent of $4,950 in Manhattan. Hell man, even the mayor needed some money. That's why he allegedly took bribes, illegal donations, and free or heavily discounted flights and hotels from Turkish airlines.
It's true.
Turkish officials for political favors, like opening up Turkey's consulate in New York early and that he would refrain from recognizing the Armenian genocide. Also, like how he played in a Turkish romantic comedy.
You guys are from Turkey. Brooklyn loves Turkey. Brooklyn is the Istanbul.
Of course, the Georgian is going to talk about the true Turk in this race, by the way, which I obviously have always endorsed and always supported, and am devastated. I'm devastated by the fact that he had to drop out of this race. Okay, this was truly an issue of consequence for me, and I know many of you who are proud Turks in this chat as well were equally as devastated by Eric Adams, a true Turk, leaving the race.
Of America. We love your food, we love your music, but I don't understand Turkish. We can take a selfie though.
Bro, at least take a bribe from Qatar, bro. What do you mean you're being bribed by Turkey, bro? Who has ever been bribed by Turkey? Also, Zoran would never. Walking through Manhattan, you will just see evil buildings. Anything on Wall Street or Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan house, but also it undeniably looks so cool.
Within the first 5 minutes of me being in America, I experienced both sides of American culture. First off, this extremely friendly old guy came up and asked me for a cigarette, and I gave him some tobacco. When I told him it had come all the way from England, his face lit up with joy and he said, "Damn, this might be the oldest, most ancient cigarette ever." I think he genuinely thought England is like actually still in the 1600s or something, but he thanked me profusely, wished me and Gattsu well, and went on his way. 10 out of 10 first human interaction in America, right? So obviously next, it was time for us to face the Newark Airport Grim Reaper. This dude was dressed in 100% Young Thug's brand clothing, okay? And considering Young Thug's recent court proceedings and public appearances,
Free OG did it, man. Free OG. For real? Sure. OG nigga? Wait, really? Hopefully would. Alright, free Diddy. If he said it, I'm free Diddy too.
that's how I knew
I also have a suspicion about this, rappers appearing on streams and rappers also doing streams in general, or like musicians in general doing streams. I think the labels are like, I think the labels are directly forcing people like Ice Spice to do Twitch streams because they think they can just like recreate the same, or the talent agencies, like someone out there is getting people to engage in this, thinking that they can actually cultivate like the same fan bases that Twitch streamers have cultivated after doing, 8-hour streams every. It's dumb. I don't think it'll work, but it's pretty obvious that they just saw all of the promo that they're getting. They saw all the promo that they got from like Kai Cenat, Black Boy Max, and many others, and they're like, oh, we can just like make them do it.
we were in trouble, right? He comes up to us and says, "Y'all waiting for an Uber? Y'all about to get an Uber, right? Yeah. Cancel it. You two are riding with me." I'm like, "Nah, bro, our guy's gonna be here in a couple minutes. Thank you, though. Thank you. Don't be scared. Don't be scared." And he then shows us his phone screen. It's a photo of some lady, I assume his significant other, and he goes, "You can trust me. This is my everything." okay? You want to know how many serial killers had wives? Like every single one of them, okay? If anything, having a wife you got to provide for in the current American economy makes it way more likely that you're gonna harvest and traffic my organs, okay? Anyway, he kind of rushed off after we showed no interest. I assume he had some important business to attend to, specifically the NBA YoungBoy concert. That's right, me and Gattsu landed into New Jersey the same day NBA YoungBoy had a show in New Jersey, and I'm telling you guys, this Georgian idiot wanted to attend it. I'm like, bro, you've been watching too many Sopranos highlights on Instagram or something. Our European asses are not making it 3 seconds in downtown Newark, let alone inside the NBA YoungBoy concert, bro.
The food in America is absolutely wild. I know most of my audience is American, so just hear me out. Just listen to me, guys. I'm begging you guys to go to Europe and eat the food there and tell me how you feel afterwards. I genuinely want to know. I thought American food was supposed to be like very bad, like unhealthy, but it tastes amazing, right? But no, it's just unhealthy and it tastes bad. Genuinely, me and Geopol's bodies had
wrong. American food is unhealthy, but also tastes amazing. European food is healthy, but tastes like it tastes bland. Maybe it's because I'm so Ameribrain. I'm such an Amerifat that like my taste buds have been fried by all the different chemical compounds. Yellow 40, all the dyes, all the. But honestly, sorry, American food is decadent and incredibly flavorful. The Brits are allergic to some seasoning. You are not wrong. Yeah, like, bro, even the Italians, like, dude, go eat high-end Italian food in Italy, okay? There are certain things that are delicious, like a great steak, right? But if you go and eat like fresh pasta in Italy, and then you compare it to like pasta in America, I'm not rage baiting at all. It's definitely much more natural, if it makes sense. But it also certainly has like less flavor in general. It has less seasoning in general. This is the worst take I've ever seen on the stream. I don't think so. I think it's important to stand on business here. Your taste bud sucks. I mean, look, I have tried the cuisines of many different countries all around the world. I do think that the food safety standard is tremendous in the EU in comparison to the United States of America, and I wish we had that here. But I do think that the American food is just chemically boosted to fry your brain, okay? It is directly, it's like saying, you know what it's like? It kind of feels like people being like, oh, classical compositions are far better than top 40 music. It's like top 40 music is unlistenable. It's like, no, man. Top 40 music is literally made in a lab to tickle your brain, okay? It's okay. You can say like, it sounds good. You can bob your head to it. It's just the anti-normie take. Everybody always is afraid of coming across like their coworkers. Same principle for food as well. It's just, it is built in a lab to literally make your taste buds orgasm. Okay? That's it.
So much trouble adjusting to the food. I really get why Americans have the meme of, oh, if an European tried this, they would die immediately. Because we low-key did. And we weren't like eating crumble cookies or anything. So bravo to your stomachs, man. It's as powerful as the military. I tried a lot of different restaurants and even fast food.
Welcome to Popeyes here. Give me 1 sec. Damn, that's it. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. You need to take your ass home. Yeah, tell him. For real. Pull up to the window. Hey, it is. What up? It's around. Pull up to the window then.
But the only food that did not make me feel bad was Vietnamese food.
Vietnam, undefeated.
I can't believe they smoked y'all in war and in cuisine. How did this happen? Plus, like, I had just come back from Armenia to Georgia for a day before going to New York, and food in the Caucasus is so good, man. And then going there, like, every food was a prison meal.
The rats. Rats.
Oh my God. Oh God. You are toxic. Oh. Kaya, out. Get out. Oh God. Oh my God, bro. She came up and just like sat next to me and just has nonstop farting. Oh, She said, NA food, NA food, trust me. I got you. She's just doing a drive-by. She crop dusting all around me. Oh my Lord. Lordy, lordy. Oh, spin the block, Kaya. No, I chemical warfare up in this.
Thought I knew about rats already. I thought London, Birmingham, Manchester. I even got jumped on by a rat one time in Reading, like last year. I've seen it all when it comes to these creatures. How much worse could it get? How bad could New York be, man? Well, I simply didn't account for what can happen to rats when they eat New York trash. Because yeah, by the way, they don't have bins in New York. They simply stack bin bags on the side of the street. All I'm saying, yeah, if a video surfaced online of this happening in India, Americans would be losing their saying, oh, these Indians are so uncivilized and dirty. Well, I got news.
That's actually a pretty good take. That's actually a really good take. Oh my God. God damn, he's so right. They literally do this with like Japan too. They're like, oh, immigrants have made Japan dirty, and then they like show stacked bins because they don't have any trash cans. To be fair, Americans already think New York City and LA are holes. I mean, I would say that it is far more invasive in New York than it is in Japan. Not doing the pog, everything in Japan is good, but I don't know why. Maybe they do like way more steady trash pickups in Japan or something, because like they do the same process there. But it's actually far worse for some reason in New York City.
News for you New Yorkers, okay? Scientifically speaking, yeah, if you simply leave black bin bags of trash out in the street to bake and swelter away in the midday New York heat, you're essentially providing steroids for these damn rats to consume. American food is so full of alien chemicals that I had a tummy ache the entire time we were there. Now just think about what the radiated scientific anomalies produced by 3-day-old New York food that's been cooking in a bin bag in the heat does to the rats eating this shit. Oh my God, man. I saw didn't even think was possible for this species of animal. The kind of mutations these rats were walking around with. The kind of confidence they were walking around with as well. I think I genuinely saw a rat with wings. I'm not even joking. Like the Cloudy and a Chance of Meatball creatures. Some other food related New York lore. I chipped my tooth on some bread out here. Yeah, not only did America take thousands of my hard-earned dollars, it also took irreplaceable bits of my body, like my tooth.
What I realized about New York is that this is expensive, bruh. I've been to many places, like people said Hong Kong was expensive. I thought Vienna was expensive, but New York will ruin you. Any place you go to after New York, you will think is cheap. The thing that surprised me the most about going to the US, but especially New York first, is the tipping culture. Because you go to a bar and it's $10 for the bartender to grab the bottle of beer from the back and give it to you and open it up for you. And then on top of that, you gotta give him a tip or he will spit in your drink and give you the New Yorker $3,000 rent for a closet with an outside bathroom look. The thing is, bro, if you're charging 10 bottles for a bottle of Modelo, and then on top of that, you want a tip, at this point, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my balls on the bar, and then you can just grab a hammer right where you grabbed the beer from, and then just douche, douche. You might as well do that.
Also, I think my legs took lifelong damage from walking around on these goddamn concrete slabs you guys call a sidewalk.
My hot take is New York City is not that expensive outside of housing. This guy just only visited Upper East Side Manhattan. I mean, you have to remember, one is Georgian and the other one's British. So I think that New York City is pretty. I think New York City is pretty expensive. I mean, unless they only went to Times Square, in which case it's even more expensive. But especially for people outside of New York, especially for people outside of the country.
Let me just explain to you.
Watch this guy come to San Francisco and die on the hills.
Americans, what normal humans do when we build paths for walking on, okay? We do this pretty much everywhere in the world, right? For centuries we've been doing this. What you do is when you make a tile or a slab, yeah, you want to make the texture very bumpy and irregular. That's why you'll see pavement tiles with rocks like set in them and stuff, or little bumps and stuff on the top of the pavement. This means that when you step on that surface with a shoe, it's not bone to floor impact. Your shoe kind of squishes into the little gaps on the surface of the tiles. The rough texture absorbs like loads of the impact, and your shoe like slowly compresses instead of slapping the floor. And your feet, legs, and butt take us just these evil metal stairways. Yo, my lower half was shaking and trembling the entire New York trip. I promise it wasn't from all the spooky ass Halloween decorations these goddamn Americans.
I didn't realize Euro are so weak. This is when I walked on the stones in Europe, it made my legs hurt for a week after. I do think that America is pretty bad for a lot of shit, but at least there's like ADA compliance in general. If these guys saw Houston, I think their minds would explode, because New York City is, I think, the most walkable city in America by a wide margin. So it's hilarious for them to be complaining about the walkability of New York City. Maybe my brain is broken by being a dumb Amerifat, but like, if you saw Houston, Texas, you would have an aneurysm. Okay, if you saw Los Angeles, you would have an aneurysm. Like, there's just, these guys are complaining about the sidewalks, which are pretty wide, by the way, by American standards. But like, now imagine a world where there's just no sidewalk and the sidewalk ends. What do you do then? There's just no sidewalk. It makes no sense. Like, think about that. No sidewalk and no way to cross the 8-lane superhighway, you know? What do you do then? No public transit. It's so stupid. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Had set up in their gardens like over a month before Halloween. I don't want to be like, bar humbug.
You were spot on about him. There I was, filling up the motor. I turn around, the little getter done a runner.
God damn, bro. Over a month before Halloween, there's already like 3-meter tall skeletons.
Brother, you haven't seen all of Houston. It's not that bad. There is no way you're talking about the hellish nightmare of Houston in positive terms here. It is one of the worst examples of city planning that you could point to. It is literally a major metropolitan created specifically for exurbs and suburbs to come in and work in the downtown area, and therefore has just vast parking lots. It is the worst as far as lack of walkability and a car line infrastructure is one of the worst cities I've ever encountered. There's no shot, dude. And yes, of course, the 7-lane highways still get traffic jammed because the entry point into the city is still going to end up being a 2-lane entry point. That's just how traffic works. That is how traffic works. But for some weird reason, people refuse to reckon with that. And no, I'm not saying we should destroy the buildings to make sure that there's 8-lane superhighways inside of the city, okay? Some people will hear that and go, well, I got the solution. Gut the sidewalks even further and build more lanes in the city. That's not the point.
The consumerism is just too hard for you guys to resist, isn't it? You know what else spooks me out? How they can't pour beer in this damn country. However, you're still expected to tip the bartender like over 20%. I started off the trip drinking these stale pints of piss they call draft beer. So I clocked on to how they can't pour beer in bars at all pretty quickly. Me and Gigi started ordering bottles of beer instead, at which point tipping feels like the most insane investment you've ever made, paying an extra quarter of the original payment just for the manual labor of opening a bottle. How about bars just pay their staff a livable wage so I don't have to foot the bill?
Yeah, the European mind cannot comprehend subsidizing the living bare minimum living wages of the service sector employee. Okay. They don't even understand. And they're not even actually technically giving living wages to the service sector employee. They're just basically subsidizing the landlord's living quality and living standards, because you're tipping the service sector employee, and then the service sector employee is taking that tip so that they can have like living wages, except 50% of that is going directly to subsidizing your landlord. It's awesome. America's awesome. It's so cooked. It's so goddamn cooked.
And also, I don't want to pay for some bartender to be nice to me, man. That's like some Blade Runner dystopian shit. Me and Gattsu were actually talking to this one dude outside a bar in Brooklyn, and he told us the reason he specifically goes to that bar is because the female bartender is beautiful and lovely and nice. He also said his go-to move when he's there is to slap $20 bills on the bar as tips whilst he drinks. What even is this, bro? A strip club? What on earth are we doing here, man? I'm actually just gonna go and drink beer in my hotel now because I don't want anyone to think I'm a creep if this is like what the common practice is out here.
Also, New Yorkers are rude as shit. You hold the door for people and they don't say thank you. What the is this? Man, I'll just go myself down. And New York Metro is the worst metro in the world. When you ride the New York train for a long enough time, you understand why New Yorkers are so angry all the time. It is the slowest metro I have ever stepped my broke Eastern European communist ass in. And there are delays every day on these trains where not only are they slow.
I hate that while this is correct, I can't help but state once again that this is like, at least there is one, you know? You don't know what you got till it's gone, okay? New Yorkers, you need to understand something. Think of me like a person from the future warning you, okay? Don't it always seem to go, you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Americans, our best metro, everyone else, worst metro I've been to. Yeah, it's so cooked. God, it's so cooked. American century of humiliation. American century of humiliation. Over and over again, I will say, American century of humiliation. He just doesn't realize the best America has. It's so
But they stop for like 10 minutes at a time, giving you enough time to think what the fuck you are doing in this city. Just today, when me and Leo were riding, imagine showing a New Yorker a Chinese metro. They would lose their minds. Imagine showing them this shit, bro. This is why propaganda works so well on American cars like Metro in New York and Metro in Moscow. Because it genuinely is so bad. I just gotta say, man, China winning. I feel like if this happened in China, the Chinese police would have put that tweaker in Squid Game, and Chinese trains would never have this fucking happen in the first place. What do you mean you're skipping stops, bro? This has never happened to me in any country ever, bro. Imagine coming home late from work and then the conductor comes on talking about we're dropping you 5 stops from your home. I know Asian trains are like an outlier for being good, but bro, even my broke-ass Eastern European country's metro is like 5 billion times better than the New York metro. Yes, including the stop that is in my hood that looks like a coal mine. No wonder public transport gets such a bad rep in America, because honestly, it's pretty bad. Every line gets delayed, they start skipping stops and If you showed a New Yorker a metro in Chongqing, the city of New York would write in Xi Jinping during the next election. Also, New York has the worst hoods and the sketchiest.
This is crazy because, like, dude, this is why you got to keep Americans' brains occupied, honestly. Like, this is why there's so much resistance whenever I, like, talk about China. They'll be like, oh, well, what about this or what about that? It's like they have to constantly think about how bad everywhere else is in their minds. Otherwise, they will have to unironically realize that, like, our government is us, okay? It's this, and I've known this for years. One, because I've traveled a decent amount, come from a different country originally. But, like, I've known this with healthcare. Even before all this stuff became bigger points of contention in American discourse, like, I used to always bring up healthcare, be like, okay, why do you guys think that, like, Europe doesn't exist for some reason? Like, why do you think Canada doesn't exist? And they would have to, like, invent ways in which the European and Canadian healthcare is, like, far worse than American somehow. It's like, brother, you don't even pay. Like, you literally don't have insurance because you can't pay for healthcare. And you're over here talking about how there's wait times in Canada. There's wait times in America too, okay? Not only is there wait times in America, but you don't even have healthcare. Why are you even talking? The reason why there's less wait times overall by your standards is because you don't even have healthcare and can't go to the doctor. You ask Americans, like, would you rather just not have healthcare and have lower wait times, or everybody has healthcare and then maybe your wait times are a little bit longer, which by the way could be fixed if you actually had a competent government that was invested in expanding the healthcare infrastructure, for the record, because the wait times are all matter of complaints about healthcare and socialized systems is a direct consequence of underfunding. It's crazy.
Places I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of shit. I'm literally from the hood in Eastern Europe, and Geopol is from Birmingham in the UK. But these American hoods are something else, man. Do you not want to go to these places if your grandma lived there and she baked you cookies and she invites you? Grandma, I'm not coming to Queens. I also thought Coney...
That's also wrong. That's actually wrong. And obviously I have evidence to prove it. That's a person that did not go to these places, okay? There is 0% chance. There is 0% chance that these dudes actually went to fucking Queens, because all of the boroughs are awesome, okay? I would go so far as to say, yeah, especially Queens. Are you kidding me? But the places where there is more poverty in New York, I think, are some of the better parts of New York in general. Okay, the places where a lot of like black and brown people live, they have a better sense of community. There's just like people there's actually people, you know, helping one another out. 0% chance. This is unironically the outsider's take. This is the outsider's take that didn't actually go. And I kind of understand it, because even I had a remnant of that before I went and I visited. It's ridiculous. Straight up, the places that are poor, like the neighborhoods that are poor, have some of the better community events and some of the better like attitudes in this country. Overall, they're sick. They're dope.
Island was decently hood, but at least they had the sea, and Coney Island is just the Soviet Union. There are so many Georgians, Russians, and Ukrainians living there. For example, I went to this one Georgian restaurant there, and outside there were like 50 Georgians. Right next to it was a laundromat with a Georgian and Ukrainian flag hanging. And right the opposite street was something like Vladimir's barber shop. And on the street, you just heard Georgian and Russian. But just before I left the city, New York had to take one more thing from me and hit me with a $112 ride to the airport. Or a taxi, bro. And a lot of people had the question of, how did your Eastern European communist ass even get into America? Well, there was a big annoying visa process, and they approved me and gave me a 10-year tourist visa. And because my passport was Georgian, I got checked literally every single point of process going to America. I had a layover in Vienna, and on the way to America, they were asking me in Austria, oh, where are you going to stay? Show me your return ticket. Do you have any friends or relatives in America?
Oh,
are
yeah.
you planning to work in America? You're Austrian. Why the do you care, you Hitler?
No, they make them do that. No, it's literally, that is unironically something that the American government forces upon even the connecting flights. Straight up is literally true. They even have like extra TSA or like extra private security when you're going on an American flight. It's like cordoned off. Isn't that normal? I mean, no, it's abnormal. Well, for Americans, all of that is abnormal. They make it seem like everybody's trying to come into the country and just stay in the country permanently.
Are you still mad a Georgian beat your idol? We're in Vienna, bruh. I have a 10-year visa. I have a better access for America than any European does. And then in the US border, the guy asked me what I did for work, and I said I had a YouTube channel. And then he asked me for the name, and I said Gattsu. And then he started looking my channel up on YouTube. At this point, I was like, bro, he's gonna see my Trump videos and they're gonna send me off El Salvador. And then he said, you have a picture of that guy on your channel, Benjamin. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking about BB. I'm actually getting my ass sent straight to El Salvador. And he was like, oh, like the actor Benjamin on your profile picture. Oh, Cumberbatch? Oh yeah, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. Welcome to the United States. And then
Bro, that's not even a joke. A couple scrolls away, if he had seen the BB videos and he might not have actually been able to get into the country, I feel like.
Was let in. And then I went through security, where upon seeing the Georgian flag on my backpack, the US border agent immediately went, the US Borders and Customs agent was nice enough to offer me a private check instead of going through the usual security means. Honestly though, he was a pretty chill dude and he was kind, nothing really bad. And during the search, he was even like, oh, let me impress this Georgian. And he told me something in Russian and
Yeah, why do you have that on your bag, bro? If you're trying to come to America, the only flag that you can have on your bag is the American one. You know what I mean? It's so... Guy probably thought it was a Crusader flag. No, they would have been like, step right ahead, sir. Go ahead. Ah, a like-minded individual. You will assimilate well.
I'm like, I don't speak Russian. And he was like, oh, okay. And then let me go.
No, if you put the Israeli flag, then the luggage tossers are going to with your At least if you have the American flag, it's like, you're fine. Because the Israeli flag is good for the cops. But it's not good for like the average, you know, it's not going to be it's not going to be good for the average people that are touching the bag. They were like, ugh, gross.
After checking everything in my bag. But honestly, my British friend Geopol did not have a much different experience from me. But just being treated like you're doing something bad at the border when you're literally just a tourist, want to spend a lot of money.
They see an Israeli flag on their bag. They're like, oh, would you like my service weapon, sir? Here, you can have it. Please. Go kill an American citizen with this. You get one free kill.
Actually, because it's New York, it just feels bad and makes me not really want to go there again.
Yeah, under the new Trump directive, we must offer you our service weapon so you can get one free kill on U.S. soil. One crime, one major felony you can commit. Scot-free.
Even though my passport being weak played a role in this sort of treatment, it didn't really play a big role, to be honest. Like, it was not that important since my British friend got basically the same treatment. So I think it's just America at this point. And even the Norwegian dude getting deported for having a JD Vance meme on his phone.
Newark Airport was all I needed to see, bro. By the way, if there's a tiny chance someone noticed my most recent videos all get switched to private for about an hour on the 29th of September, it's because I was going through Newark Airport Border Force, okay? They grilled me like a New York glizzy. I told the Border Force agent I was coming to the great city of New York to see the rappers Blade, Black Cray, and Net Spend perform. And this border agent genuinely spent a few minutes going through Blade's most popular music videos, and I think I converted him. He was genuinely telling me, yo, I gotta check this out, man. This sounds good.
The only question I have is how the are they supposed to host the World Cup next year with this treatment of people at the border? Genuinely, it is the worst treatment I've ever had at a border. Getting everything except my booty checked. For example, when I go to Europe, they don't even check anything, especially in Greece. I don't even have to bring my passport. I can just put my Orthodox cross down at the border and they'll let me in with open arms in gyros. But my advice to you guys is just to not get defensive really and be kind to the agents as well. Because one, they can just your shit up, and two, you being defensive will not help anything at all. And also in the airport, they had, I'm pretty sure this Kristi Noem had her ad about self-deporting people, and there were also ads about go and deport yourself in the airport. And like, this administration will swear they're not fascist, but
what is this place?
Home.
It's true. There is a unimaginably threatening aura, a presence of a Kristi Noem constantly lording over you on every TV, talking about how immigrants ain't shit. It is true. I never really thought about it as from the outsider's perspective. Like it does make sense especially if you're like a outsider. You look at that and you're like, what the f is this?
I'll see you in Valhalla.
Anyway, yeah, apart from all that, I did seriously enjoy New York. It was mind-blowing for me to see all the places I recognize so crystal clear from watching films, consuming media, etc. I saw the hospital transport bus from Good Time. I saw the subway train from the 8-Ball Jacket slap video. I saw Coney Island from the Side Talk videos. I saw the bodegas from the Okiway videos. I saw Washington Square Park from Impractical Jokers. I ate at White Castle from Harold and Kumar. What more?
Bro, that's crazy. And then you have the audacity to complain about your tummy? Brother, it's like I went and licked the ground at Chernobyl and then complained about radiation poisoning. What are you doing? Oh, no shit, dude. Yeah, no wonder. This is the big reveal at the final hour of the video. You buried the goddamn lead. You are Muslim. You need to follow God, right? What the guy saying, dude? Yeah, I licked the bean in Chicago, but I didn't complain about whatever kind of viral new type of disease that I got from it. Do you understand? Yeah, they went to Times Square, and then they went to White Castle, and they're complaining about how crazy every American is and how shit the food is. It's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, don't go to White Castle. Easy answer.
What could I ask for?
Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and goodbye. Now that my ass is back in Georgia, expect more videos.
This is so European. They're used to healthy and non-destructive burgers and fast food. I mean, dude, but then it's like, if you go to White Castle, it is the absolute worst place you could go to. White Castle is the absolute worst place you could go to eat American food. I mean, I guess it's the most honest. It's the most like maximum Americanized food that you can consume. It's burger. But it's the most Amerifat burger. Do they know we cook food too? I don't know. After White Castle, I don't know.